In the last video, I showed how to use an add input socket. And we created this input socket by dragging from this output socket to the add input socket. So I want to go over all the different socket types, not the data types for sockets, but the types of sockets on nodes. I'm going to add a new Lua script host, call it PUI. So this is the default script host for Lua, and there's a couple of new socket types. We've already gone over this one, which is an add input socket, which allows you to drag from an output socket from another node to create a new input socket in order to customize a script node. This one here is called a Passthru socket. It does the exact same thing, except it creates an output and an input socket of the same data type and name that is dragged. So, for example, if I want to add a data socket named stop to the input socket and output socket list of this script host node, I can drag from the output socket of any other node onto a pass-through socket, and it creates both. If I only want to create a new output socket, I can drag from the add output socket to an input socket, and now I have pause. The other type of sockets outside of data sockets, which show as a circle with the dashed outline there, is this, which is a link to the base object type within that node. It's called a pointer socket, and with it you would be able to add 3D nodes to a scene in a non-programmatic way, or if you have a table view and want to add a row or row type, you can drag it to up the parent or the child, and I'll explain those later. Another thing is, I'll get rid of that and remake it. Each script node can potentially have an output here, whether it's a script node or a native node. So the output for this P3D is this when you tap on it. So I'm going to create another node, some pre-built code already made. And you'll notice that there's something here inside of the actual node body. With scriptable nodes, you can redirect the output to a couple of different places. I'll go ahead and wire that up. When I press play, you see that within the body of the node itself is where the output is showing. You can redirect that output by tapping and holding on the script node if it has a UI. And I can send this output to the instrument. And then it shows here. I can also send the output back to the node or into the background of the flow canvas. When the output is sent to the instrument view, whichever node with an instrument output that you tap on last pops to the top of the instrument view. So this instrument view acts like a Z-stack. You can tap on P3D and then it goes away. If I go in here, I'm going to take off that skybox. And you see that by default on most nodes, the background color of the instrument view is clear colored. So that's how you can layer multiple output views of different types, maybe 3D, maybe it's a processing sketch, AR and 2D graphics, or Proto UI output, and begin to prototype the interface of your scene.